Look at that. I think you can see that in the camera. Look, that is incredible. Yesterday, I could see it, but with the sun up there, it was really hard to see. But today with all the clouds, man, I wonder what that is. That's something else. I'm gonna go down in the woods and see if we can see it from down there. That is something else. So I'm gonna talk about this in great detail today, and hopefully we can figure out, I don't know, that's just really neat. As a YouTuber, YouTube suggests that we go to other YouTube channels and see what they're talking about. That way you can talk about what they're talking about. So similar YouTube channels, like other off-grid channels, or I don't know, there's not a lot of off-grid channels. So I go to homestead channels and I go to prepping channels because I think a lot of my viewers go to those type of channels. So I always try to go over there and see what they're talking about. It's gotten to the point now where, wow, the grass is already growing. Here it is March 1st and the grass is starting to grow down here through the leaves already. That's something else. I love coming down here when the season is starting to change. Rarely do any of the off-grid channels and homestead channels and prepping channels talk about what's in their niche. I go to a homestead channel now and all I hear about is the news. Go to prepping channels and all I hear about is news and conspiracies and this is going to be bad. And what I found interesting the other day while I was doing my research for videos is one of the homestead channels, I don't see the format of their channel doing what their channel name describes. I try to stay in the context of off-grid and happiness and living your dreams. I try to take you out in the woods regularly, show you the solar panels, I show you the wood stove. Now, sometimes I do connect current events to those objects. Like, I don't know, I'll just throw out an example. Had a really popular video a while back. I was talking about the wood stove, and I was showing you how the wood stove worked. You know, these new modern EPA wood stoves. And I was talking about how the environmentalists in the EPA would like to ban wood stoves. Several countries are either banning them or have banned them. And so I was connecting current events, but I was still trying to explain how to operate it and the advantages of having the new EPA wood stoves. And the reason I do that is because YouTube says I gotta talk about the same things that people in my niche are talking about. If their channel's doing well, that means your channel will do well because you're talking about the same stuff. And what they do, the algorithm will try to connect me to their channel. So if you watch their channel and you go down to the bottom, and there'll be a list of videos underneath their video, and there's my video because I talked about a similar subject. It's just a game you got to play with YouTube. But the problem is I don't believe a lot of the stuff these people are telling me. And if I do believe it, I believe that there are ways around it, simple solutions. One of the things that is talked about a lot on the prepping channels is you got to have gold, got to have gold. And one of my arguments has always been, well, that's great. I can go get gold. And then when hyperinflation happens, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute, and you can't afford anything, you'll still be able to trade with your neighbors with gold. And I've always said, no, I'm not going to trade my neighbors with gold. Gold has no value to me. Firewood does. Food does. If you handed me some firewood and said, hey, can I have a case of food? There's something tangible, something I can use. But gold has no value. Now, I understand that some people think, well, you could trade gold and it will accumulate its own value, and over time people will just start trading with it. And that's fine. But I'd rather spend my money on things that I can use. Firewood, food. But I'm not going to invest in gold unless it has value to me. And it doesn't have any value. Yet, Missouri, wow, it is there. Look at that. Just saw it. It just flashed in the corner of my eye while I was talking. The thing is Missouri just passed a law, or is passing a law or something. I mean, I forget all the details of it, that gold is going to be an actual currency in the state of Missouri. I think the Constitution says that, if I'm not mistaken, that states cannot make their own currency, but they can trade gold. So Missouri is now making it where if you go to the store and you want to buy food, you can give the cashier some gold and they have to accept it, which now that is something valuable to me. So if the United States defaults on the dollar, Missouri still can trade gold. All these preppers are talking about the end of the world. It's going to happen, hyperinflation, we're all going to die. Hoard some food, put it in your basement, bunker down, dig a hole in the ground so you can shelter in place. But it just always seems to me that just when things get really bad, if you're smart and you go to the right locations, you go out of your way to get away from people, you will somehow or another overcome every obstacle. I remember it wasn't that long ago, maybe 6 months ago, I was watching a prepper and he had evidence, proof, gas prices were going to go up to $10 a gallon by this month. Proof. Prices keep coming down around here. It just came down another 10 cents on last Friday. So it was $2.99, now it's $2.89. I mean, we heard it all. We've heard that the store shelves would be empty, I don't know, let's just call it by August. Nothing's going to be on the shelves. I mean, these were guaranteed predictions. Here's the proof you're going to see that you're not going to be able to buy food. Prepare now, dig your hole, make a bunker, collect all the food you can. Hyperinflation, we're all going to die. And none of that transpired. The one I love hearing about is, if it happens in Europe, you know it's going to happen here. And I have never seen that happen. Never. I've never seen it happen. Maybe over decades you see trends, fashion trends, behavioral trends will come across the pond. But I mean, they were talking about how energy prices, we were going to see energy prices so high that millions of people were going to die this winter here in the United States because of high energy prices. I haven't really kept track of it because I don't have TV and news, so the best I can do is YouTube, and it's usually preppers talking about how the end of the world's coming. I haven't seen any of that. But they said that energy prices, people were going to die in Europe. I'm not sure anybody died in Europe either. Maybe they did, but it was supposed to be the end of the world kind of apocalyptic thing. Prices may have went up and it may have, yikes, I don't want to pay these prices. But I think everybody has been able to afford it for the most part. I understand people are going to argue, they're going to get down in the comment section, oh, you haven't seen anything, my prices went up $200. Yes, they went up $200, okay, I understand that. But we were talking apocalyptic, that you weren't going to get heat, that there was going to be no natural gas, there wasn't going to be enough grid to handle the electrical loads. We heard that the electric grid was going to shut down like in all of the East Coast. The other thing that they talked a lot about was hyperinflation. I mean, everybody was on board with hyperinflation. And I do agree, inflation went up and egg prices are through the roof. Man, that is something else. I keep getting glimpses of it. And then as soon as I see a glimpse of it, then it's like, I can't miss it, it's right there. That's something else. Well, I do agree, egg prices are through the roof. I've been telling everybody, the easy way to resolve that is get yourself some chickens. Now, I do agree it's hard to get chickens right now. You can get them. It's not optimal, it's not perfect, but you can get them. And if you can't get them, go to a farmer that sells eggs. Go out in the country and see if they got fertile eggs. You can incubate them. Buy yourself an incubator. I've showed you my incubator. So simple solutions, you can get eggs. But I don't think people eat enough eggs to really worry about it. When Carolyn and I ate breakfast this morning with eggs and sausage, and tonight we're going to eat eggs and bacon, and tomorrow we're going to eat eggs, who knows what, ham, maybe, but we're getting 12 eggs a day now, consistently. So we went from 7 eggs to 12 eggs. We probably won't be eating much meat this summer, be mostly eggs. Our food prices have went down. Wow, that is something else. Man, I hope you can see that. The egg prices for us have not hurt us at all. Chicken prices, yeah, over the summer, chicken prices, we had to get these 10-pound bags of chicken. So last spring, a year ago, it was 49 cents a pound for this big 10-pound bag, so it was $4.90. And then it went up to $9 or $10. So we didn't buy that anymore. But now it's back down to $4.90. So we bought a bunch of bags yesterday. Was it yesterday? Maybe the day before, I don't remember. We cooked all that up, froze it. We're gonna can it, but it was cheaper to freeze it. And I'll put an up next box to that video. One of the things somebody said in their prepping videos or homestead videos is firewood prices were going to get so expensive that you couldn't get it. So get it now. Now here in the state of Missouri, 3 years ago, we could buy a cord of oak firewood. Now the guy charges $175, but I said if you could bring us out dry firewood, I'd give you $200. I just called the guy, asked him how much his firewood was, and he said $250. So over the last 2 or 3 years, the prices have went up 50 bucks, which is expected. I mean, inflation has hit us. I guess we're at what, 8% inflation? I was told in one of the videos that you gotta get all your money out of the bank. People are gonna be making bank runs like they did back in the 30s and 40s, where the Depression hit. Now remember, the government insures our money institutions now. So if you got money in the bank, they will give you money back. And somebody said, no, they won't. You need to read the law. It could take them years to do it. And I read the law. It didn't make any difference. I understand all the politics of it, but all in all, I've been pretty sheltered by all this. Things have not affected me the way everybody said it was going to be. And I don't even think a lot of people were affected by it like they said they were going to be affected by it. What I find so interesting is these prepping channels do so well. They get returning viewers all the time. And everybody believes them. Yeah, this is the way it is. It's the end of the world. And when the end of the world doesn't happen, it's like they just ignored it. Like they never said it. So I feel pretty shielded by it, which is what this thing right up here is. Somebody has put a big old shield right over my property that has protected me from all this drama and all this apocalyptic stuff. We live off grid and I have not been affected by any of it. I still make a pretty good paycheck considering I make YouTube videos. I still have electric with my solar panels. I still have heat, all the heat I want, to the point that it's too hot in the house 90% of the time. I have all the food I can imagine, and we're getting more each day, 12 eggs a day. I'm protected by this shield. It's a shield that I put up there. I found a state that allows me to do this. Live off grid in a tiny house with very few code restrictions. Was able to find a piece of property pretty cheap, again, Missouri, cheap property. And I built a little safe haven for myself. And somebody's gonna say, oh no, it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna say, and I'm ready for it. People live in fear all the time, and that's why these channels do well. They want to be afraid. I don't. I just want to be happy. So if you click that up next box to take you to that video I was talking about, I hope I can inspire you. Stop being afraid. Build your own shield so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.